swear that I am up to no good. So, this is the phrase used to unlock and use the Marauder's Map in the series Harry Potter. The Marauder's Map is a neat device that eventually lands in the hands, of course, of Harry and his friends. It shows to the viewer the whole Hogwarts school and grounds, including its 7 secret passageways, and shows in real time a set of footprints for everyone that's occupying that space with their name attached. It's a wonderful magical invention that's able to assist any would-be marauder on their marauding. And although it appears like an ordinary piece of parchment most of the time, the secrets of the map will all appear when the holder utters the words, "I solemnly swear I am up to no good." Yeah. So I say that that phrase is curious because at a quick glance, it might seem like the speaker of the words is outwardly describing their intent to do something bad, or at least something against the rules. And that may or may not be the case. The speaker may be and likely is up to no good, up to something mischievous or devious or otherwise unable to be done without this magical spy movie type crutch. But all that aside, I want to just look for a moment at a different quality of that phrase. It's honesty. You see, one genius I see in the creation of the Marauder's Map is that the user, in order to use it, must admit out loud that they are up to no good, and anyone in earshot at least has a little inkling about what might come next. I really wish all swears worked that way. And by the way, if you thought in reading our scripture today we would be talking about that other kind of swearing, that's another sermon for another day, okay? But back to swearing or oath-making type of swearing. Where did this tradition even come from? Well, I think we can all agree as humans, we're just not very good at telling the truth. We could cite human history all the way back to the story of Adam and Eve to give examples. I think of Paul's words in the letter to the Romans. I do not understand my own actions. I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. Now if I do what I do not want, I agree that the law is good. But in fact, it is no longer that I do it, but sin that dwells within me. For I know that nothing good dwells within me, that is, in my flesh. I can will what is right, but I cannot do it. For I do not do the good that I want, but the evil I do not want is what I do. Now, if I do what I do not want, it is no longer I that do it, but sin that dwells within me. Well, I don't always agree with Paul, but I like him here. So in our human propensity for saying one thing and doing another, or just for outright lying, swearing oaths is one way to say, I really mean these words, and not only do I just say so myself, but I also invoke this other thing in holding me to these words I have spoken. So in our tradition, God and God's name have been the utmost object for the binding of oaths. And phrases to this effect are so fully embedded in our language that we hardly register them when we hear them. Just think how many times in your life you've heard or said these phrases. I swear to God, God help me. With God as my witness, so help me God, just to name a few. Jesus, in his Sermon on the Mount, as recorded in the Gospel of Matthew, includes some verses that we read this morning on swearing oaths. These verses are not in the other three Gospels, but some similar words are included in other early Christian texts, such as the letter of James, which is in the New Testament, or the Apology of Justin Martyr. Jesus is doing what he does in this section of the Gospel. And if you've been in Bible study, I haven't this year, but you might have noticed they're reading through the Gospel of Matthew. They're invited any week. They didn't pay me to say that. But looking at the Jewish teachings of his ancestors, in this section of the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus is interpreting, elaborating, expanding on those teachings. And so he seems to have a particular axe to grind on this topic of oath-making. So I'll just read it again, what we read this morning, because it's very short. Again, Jesus says, "You've heard that our ancestors were told, 'Don't break your vow. Fulfill all oaths made to our God.' But I tell you not to swear oaths at all. Don't swear by heaven, for it is God's throne. Don't swear by the earth, for it is God's footstool. Don't swear by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great ruler. Don't swear by your own head, for you cannot make a single hair white or black. Say yes when you mean yes, and no when you mean no. Anything more than this comes from the evil one." So I'll admit, this is a passage I've long found interesting. And not just me, but Christians for centuries have been interpreting this passage in various degrees of strictness, especially the line where Jesus says, "I tell you not to swear oaths at all." You see, people of Jesus' day were no more faithful or pious than we are today about keeping our word. They would say, "I swear by heaven I'll pay you back," and then run out of town. Or they would say, "I swear by my own head I'm telling the truth," and follow with the most outrageous lie. They might say, "I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth," and just will not do that. Or they might swear to be an impartial juror in a case, all the while colluding with the prosecution or the defense for one outcome or another. Not that that happens today. Part of the issue that Jesus is trying to get at is that by using heaven or one's own head or Jerusalem or anything like that as a binding object of your oath, it's insufficient, because those things can't hold you to it. Only God can hold you to it. Only God can, because only God has the power over judgment, life, and death. Jesus might even say, swearing on your own mother's grave isn't a strong enough way to bind your word. Not even that. Jesus seems to say that, well, if you're going to swear, swear by God and by God's holy name in the way that our ancient covenants were sworn. But all of this gets very complicated in wordsmithy, and so I think Jesus is noticing all this and just says, well, just don't swear at all. I don't think he really meant we were never supposed to swear, like in a courtroom setting. But what I think he's getting at is revealed in where he goes next. Say yes when you mean yes. Say no when you mean no. That is literally Jesus' teaching on the subject here. What he's saying is just be honest. To follow Jesus' teachings means that to be a follower of Jesus, there should be no difference in your words or your actions if you're under oath or you're not under oath. You should speak all of your words carefully. In other words, as a follower of Jesus, you should be known as that type of person who would say the same thing under oath that they would say if they weren't. And not only would you say the same either way, but it would also be the truth either way. It's kind of under the surface, but there are a lot of significant theological underpinnings to oath-making that a person of faith should consider. First, swearing an oath in God's name reaffirms God's sovereignty over all creation. Swearing the oath in God's name reestablishes God as judge in our own lives, something we don't often preach or think about in our circle of Christianity. So making an unfaithful oath in the name of God is one way of taking God's name in vain, breaking one of the 10 Commandments. And that's significant because taking God's name in vain in that way, by making an unfaithful oath, it cheapens all of the other of God's promises that we hold so close, like God's steadfast and abiding love, like God's eternal being with us, like God's support and God's community. If you're unfaithful to an oath that you made before God, it undercuts all of that. Thus, we, as Christians, ought to be especially careful when we make an oath, so help us God. So it was his strong faith, perhaps undergirded by these very words from the Gospel of Matthew, that led Utah Senator and former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney to vote to convict President Trump on one of the 2 recent articles of impeachment. And he said in his speech, "The allegations made in the articles of impeachment are very serious. As a senator juror, I swore an oath before God to exercise impartial justice. I am profoundly religious. My faith is at the heart of who I am. I take an oath before God as enormously consequential. I knew from the outset that being tasked with judging the president, the leader of my own party, would be the most difficult decision I've ever faced. I was not wrong." So like Paul, I don't agree with Mitt Romney on many things, but I do believe he is a person of faith and that his faith is sincere. And I think these words, speak to just what Jesus is getting at when talking about making oaths. Romney swore to God that he would be an impartial juror, and I believe that he believes he was. And my prayer is that all of you and me can follow our faith, our beliefs in God, to do the same in similar situations. Let your yes be yes, and let your no be no. Or you could say, I solemnly swear that I am up to good. Amen. Now let us sing together from our New Century hymnal, number 465, Teach Me, O Lord, your holy way.